Hello, everybody. This is module number 147 for the subject of SHRM or Strategic Human Resource Management. And in this module, we will talk about the second perspective about the employment relations that is known as a pluralistic perspective. And definitely, when we talk about the pluralistic perspective, it is in sharp contrast to the unitary perspective about employment relations. To understand the pluralistic perspective, I hope you people need to recall, and you can, and you will, what is a unitary perspective. So, according to the unitary perspective, it is a uniform, focused, single, that there is a relationship where there is no conflict between employee and employer, because both see this employment contract or employment relation from the same angle or from the same perspective. However, the pluralistic perspective offers you a different lens to see the employment relations. And when we talk about the perspectives, fairly speaking, we are talking about the lens people use to see something. If you use the lens of pluralistic perspective, you will see employment relation is something different. If you use another lens and you see the unitary perspective, you will see employment relations as something different. If you see that you are paid to do only something, nothing more than that, that lens has something offer you in a different way. So it is important that in your life, whether you are an employee or you are an employer, which lens you are wearing to see that relationship. The relationship what we have in our social life and the relationship what we have at our work life. So under this perspective, conflict in the employment relationship is seen as inevitable, cannot be avoided. On the other hand, the people who are using the lens unitary perspective, they said that there is very unlikely, or it is very unlikely that there will be a conflict between employee and employer. You are paid to do something and you do that thing. Simple as that, isn't it? But however, according to the pluralistic perspective, we say conflict is inevitable because both parties are seen to have a differing or a different interest. Do you believe that? What is your perspective? That employees have a different perspective, or employees' benefits are in a different thing, while employers' benefit or interest are in a different thing. If you believe that both are different and there is no uniform interest, then there is very likely that conflicts will occur. The question is, if the conflicts will occur, then how they should be resolved. So we will talk about that definitely in this chapter. So both parties are seen as seeking to maximize their own interest. Employees try to maximize their own interest. On the other hand, employers want to maximize their own interest. So employers might want higher productivity at reduced cost. On the other hand, employees might want higher wages in return for their labor, the service or the labor they are offering to the organization or to the employer. So don't you see there is a conflict here, that employees want a higher wages for their labor while the employers want more work with on less wages. So and not only confined to the wages and labor and efforts, employment relationship in many organizations is very complex. So according to the pluralistic perspective, the approach for employers is to attempt to manage conflict rather than to avoid or suppress it. So according to this approach, it has to be managed. If you do not, it will escalate to a level where it may not be possible for you to go back to any position you have left. So power is diffused among the main bargaining groups, and conflict resolution through compromise and agreement. So according to the pluralistic perspective, or in this or the types of organizations, unions play a very important role to help to negotiate or to facilitate the negotiation process between the employee and the employer. In briefly, compromise and agreements. something, employees may be willing to leave or give it to go. Or on the other hand, sometimes employers also wants to or may be willing to let something to go. This is what compromise is. This is what an agreement could be. Thank you.